I'll do is I'll just start a sketch. I normally have the same brushes here. So this is Lisa Glen's Round Smooth Wet, and I made a copy of it. I think I turned down the stabilization. And then I'll show you later. This guy here, I think he's Monero brush. That was a free brush that I use that for texture. This is for painting. This one is for sketching, and I think this is Liz's sketching pencil as well. And then this is for when I do lettering, so it's a bit more smooth, no texture, and then just a blank. So like I'll just, well, let's just do a sketch of an apple, carrot, and maybe a pear. Let's move that down. That looks weird. Let's back that down. Okay, so if I was gonna paint, I always paint with Lisa's pen, and I'll show you like up close. So she already has built-in texture, and then that's with me just using a single stroke without lifting the pen, and then if I were to lift up my pen, then you get these layers, which sometimes I don't really like. But what I do is I'll use the smudge brush and use her brush again and just kind of like, but sometimes if it's too smudgy, I'll go to this brush, which is this guy named Monero. I got it free off his website. So I have it saved. That's it. And that, I get nice texture from that if I just need to smudge stuff. I'll just go back and paint it again. I'm pretty messy. That's fine with me. And then I'll go, let's do the carrot. Grab an orange. And fill in the color. And if I'm kind of in a rush, I'll just duplicate it. Make it more opaque. And then let's grab the pear. Oops. Pear. And then if I want to do the stemmy stuff, I guess it would be like, I don't know. I'll use a pencil. I guess it would be more like that. I guess underneath it would have a leaf color. But that would be paint. Yeah. Just paint it underneath. I don't think I need this anymore. Actually, truthfully, what I would do would, if it were me, I would go do this. I'm not a big outline person, so I take that away. And then go back and do the pencil. Just do the lines. Oops. Oh, right. Do the line like that. I don't normally outline edges if I don't have to. and then the carrot. Maybe let's use this. Like, I don't even mind if it goes past the artwork. Like, if it sticks out, that's good with me. Oops, wrong layer, but that's okay. And then just do the leaves. Paint it on top with this green. Just one more coverage. Just dabbing. Because I'm pretty sure they're just kind of smaller leaves. Then just go over top. Oops. Pencil. Pencils are usually, this is for like stems or little bits of detail. Just like if I was doing the real gouache and mixed media. And then the apple, should go on a separate layer, but I'm not going to take the time right now. Do a leaf, paint it, and then change it to a pencil for the detail. Oops. And then what I sometimes do, if I go back to the carrot, I'll go here. If I want more texture, I think I grab that orange, go a little bit dark. Because it's on the alpha, I'll just add some extra. Maybe, yeah. And then for the pear alpha look, use maybe like, yeah, let's just to get different colors. And then I'm using, so I use the Monero, that Monero guy, his free brush. I just use that to blotch stuff up. And then if I use the same thing to erase, oops, oh, sorry, can't really erase because it's the same layer. But if I'm just gonna, if it's too much, then I'll just go back and then do that. And then the same for the apple. Maybe go dark. And then blotch. That, let's add more blotch to the carrot. Maybe yellow, sure. Blotch. And then when I'm pretty much done with what I like, I add a layer, and it's always at the last part where I do a screen and choose a yellow. I always choose either this yellow or this yellow, it doesn't really matter. And so I think of it as screen is adding light, and then I do, let's do screen first. So if you do screen, you know, it's sort of like an add, it adds that highlight. So I'll do that. And then I use the blotchy guy. That might be too much, so I'll delete. I'll delete that. Oops, it's too small. It's too much. Erase some of it. And then I also do subtract, which will be my shadow, using the same color, because the opposite of add is subtract. On the color scheme, the opposite of yellow would be like a purple, so just keep that yellow. Oops. Painting with this again. It's dark, but hang on a sec, it's too dark. But you dial it back and you get a nice purpley color. Maybe too much here. And sometimes I just leave it so it's like a shadow on the table. So I always just make sure I'm on the right layer. So that's the shadow, which is the subtract. And then I'll just paint in some shadows. And then if I want the highlights, add the highlights. So that's using this yellow. If I use this yellow, so that's the screen alpha lock. Let's fill it in with that color. And that's like a really hot light. So then I just back it down a bit. But yeah, that's basically it. And then let's see what happens if I do alpha lock, fill it with that lemony or yellow, fill, and then back it down. Yeah, that's nice. So that's that. That's how I normally paint. I always end with this. Now, the only problem with that is whenever you need to, if you wanted to take this and break it out into something new, you'll get the yellow because it needs a background to have that shadow. Let's go turn it back on like this. If you wanted that shadow, you're not going to get it anymore because you don't get that math node of subtract of that yellow with the blue and the white. Yeah, sorry, it's kind of like how my brain thinks, but it needs the white to take that color and apply the math nodes. So that's the only problem with this. But if I have to break it out, I just erase this extra bit. Whenever I have to say, like, I have to break it out into a sticker or whatever, it's no big deal. So, but yeah, that's that.